Does your home ever feel like it's just not good enough? Maybe you compare your home to someone that you know in real life, like a friend or a family member, or maybe it's someone you don't even know. Maybe it's someone online, like an influencer or some picture on Pinterest, and you compare your home to theirs and you just think, my home is not good enough. I wish I had a different home. I wish my home looked different or was bigger or was just nicer. I think we have all felt that way from time to time. And I have felt that way. I've lived in 3 different homes in my adult life. And I have learned in every single home how to be content in that home that I was in at that time. So today I want to share with you what I've learned over the past 15 years and how you can just easily implement these practical tips today. Okay, so welcome back to the podcast. My name is Emily. I am a homemaker, which means that I do a lot of different things. I work from home part-time, I homeschool my kids, and I run our household. So I am making a home for my family, and that is super important to me. And so I love sharing about that here on my YouTube channel. And I also have this little podcast going on where I just sit down, because sometimes I just want to sit down and talk to you instead of just making videos. Those are always fun to show the decor in my home or day in the life or just getting some cleaning motivation done. But these podcasts are really good too, to just sit down and chat and share some good, beneficial information with you. So that's what today is. I hope in 2024 to start sharing some more podcast episodes, maybe every other video, or maybe like twice a month. That's about every other video. Just so that you have some where you can just kind of play me in the background, maybe put in some headphones and do all the things that you need to do and not necessarily sit down and have to watch the whole video. So a few videos back, Cindy left a comment saying that she senses contentment from me. And I really took that as a huge compliment, because I really am content where God has placed me, especially in this season of my life and at home and in this location that we're at, specifically with our home. And she said that she feels like watching my videos helps her with contentment as well, and just choosing to be happy with what God has given her. And I think that is super, super important. And I hope that my channel always helps you walk away with a sense of contentment and just motivation to take care of the home that you have been given. And I hope that you don't necessarily compare your home to my home. And I hope that my home does not make you feel less than or unworthy in any way. I know sometimes when I am watching other influencers or people here on YouTube, sometimes I feel like, oh my goodness, what am I doing sharing my home on YouTube? Because I think, well, my home is so not to the level that other YouTubers are. I feel like, I have a lot of hand-me-downs and thrift store decor in my home. I don't have the latest appliances. You've seen my kitchen in many videos, and my appliances are 30 years old and they're not the stainless steel ones. I don't have the latest and greatest, but I still feel like there's a spot for me here on YouTube and I can reach the people that I need to reach. And I feel like sometimes when we watch those perfect homes, it makes us want more and makes us want something that we don't have. And so hopefully I can share my imperfect home with you, and that hopefully encourages you to embrace your home, whether you have stainless steel appliances or not. So let's talk about contentment. So, because I'm kind of rambling here. So the first thing that I was thinking about when it came to contentment is that no home is going to be perfect. So, when I first got married, my husband and I lived in a single wide mobile home. And at first I was a little embarrassed by it. And I thought that this was just going to be temporary. We weren't going to live here long. And I kind of just didn't do a whole lot with it. But then I came across Michaelyn, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but I think it's Michaelyn Smith. She is the nester. She had a blog, and I think she still has the blog. I don't read it anymore, but I've read some of her books. But one of the things that she would say is, it doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. And so that really resonated with me because my single wide mobile home, even though it wasn't like an actual, permanent home, and it was not exactly what I wanted it to be, I had to choose contentment and realize that I had to make that place my own, and I could still enjoy that home. We ended up living there for 6 years, so we were there for a good while, and I'm so glad that I didn't just wait to have a perfect home before I actually started doing things to it. So I really embraced that mobile home, and I actually came to a point where I was like, if I live in this home for the rest of my life, I'm okay with that. And so, I had painted the kitchen cabinets white, and I painted the kitchen walls yellow, and I decorated the walls, and I really enjoyed that home. And it was kind of sad when we ended up moving, but we did end up moving because we needed a little more space as we were expanding our family. So then we moved into our second home in Florida. It was a 900 square foot home. It was really small, but it was super cute, and I loved living in that home. And right away, I started doing things to it. So I painted the walls, I painted light fixtures and ceiling fans, and put things up on the walls and just decorated it the way that I wanted to. And I really loved that home. We were only in that home for 4 years, I believe. And even though it wasn't huge, and I would have people come over for play dates and stuff, and then I would go to their homes for play dates. And my home was always smaller than the other people's homes. But even though it was on the smaller side, it was imperfect, people still enjoyed coming to my home. I still enjoyed being hospitable to other people when they would come and visit. And I didn't let the imperfections of that home stop me from enjoying it and from using it to, serve others. Another thing is, we recently thought about moving, and we even had a realtor, and we looked at a handful of houses, and we had been looking on the realtor app at different homes, and we would see all these pictures, and we would think, oh, this looks like such a nice house. And so we would go and look at these houses, and then when we would get there, the house itself was not as nice as the picture would show. So like the pictures, they did it in such a way that it really kind of reeled you in, and you thought, oh wow, that's super nice. But then you got there and it just wasn't as nice as the picture showed. And so, those pictures online don't show all those little imperfections that you see in real life. And so sometimes it's really easy to compare, the imperfections that you see in your own home to what you see online. But the truth is, you're not seeing the full picture. And so anyways, long story short, we did decide to stay in our home that we're at, because every time we would go and look at a house, we would come back and think, wow, we really love our home. We love all the little imperfections. And there were things about our home that we kind of took for granted until we would go and visit another home. And then we would realize, oh, we do have this in our home that's, better than what is out there. We were looking at a different home simply because of location. We live kind of on the outer parts of the town that we are in, the city that we're in. And it takes us a good 15 to 20 minutes to get to places. If we want to go to church or shopping or out to eat or to our homeschool community, we have to drive. And we thought, well, wouldn't it be nice to just be closer to all those locations? And so we did consider moving. But we just realized that we love our home and it's worth the drive for us. So no homes can be perfect, even though location doesn't have to be perfect to enjoy it and to be content with it. Another way that you can choose contentment with the home that you are in is to simply focus on the good. So often it's easy for us to point out all the negative things about our homes, and then we forget or we overlook the positive things about each home. So I could go back and think about my mobile home, and then I could think about our 900 square foot home in Florida, and then the home that we're currently in, and I could find positive things from each one. My dad, one of his things that he often says is there's always a silver lining. And that is so true. There's always something positive in any circumstance that you find yourself in. And so, here in my home, I could think about all the negative things about my home, like the fact that I have carpet in my living room, and I would rather have hardwood floors or laminate. I could tell you about the fact that I don't have a fourth bedroom, like a guest bedroom. We have to use our basement as the guest room, and it's not ideal. We don't have, we're further away. Like I was saying, we're further away from being close to things. Let's see, our kitchen is a little dated, our bathrooms are a little dated. And so I could focus on all of those negative things. But when I do that, that just kind of brings me down and makes me feel discontented. And it makes me feel like I need something else. I need better, or what I have isn't good enough. And that leads to feeling ungrateful for what I do have. So the opposite of that is focusing on the good and the parts that I do love and just being thankful. So now I found myself, when I'm standing in my kitchen, thank you, God, for this kitchen island that I have and this counter space that I have to prepare my food on. Maybe it's not a huge kitchen island, but at least I have one. Thank you, God, for extra space in our basement to have guests over to be able to spend the night. Maybe it's not a complete bedroom for them, but it is a space that they can stay in. Thank you, God, for our backyard where we can go out and, it's not fenced in, and so we don't have privacy fences, which we would love, but we have a backyard that my kids can go out and play in, and that we don't have to drive to a park every time we want to go outside. So I can be thankful for those things. And when I find myself being thankful, then I am more content with where I am and with my home. The third way to have contentment in your home is really to make your home yours. Don't wait to put holes in the wall. If you want to hang a picture up, go hang it up. Maybe you have had a picture hanging or sitting in your closet for months or years, and you've thought about hanging it up, but you just don't know exactly where or how you want to do that. Just go hang it up. Find a spot in your home to hang up that picture. Maybe you've been waiting to paint a room. Go ahead and go get that paint and paint that room. In my own home, I've done some videos on my kitchen, and one of my most popular videos here on YouTube is me adding bry wax to the outside of our honey oak cabinets. And, doing that was taking a chance. It was a risk because I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. I didn't care for the honey oak cabinets. I didn't want to paint. I didn't want to spend a ton of money. And so I decided to do the bry wax on my cabinets. And I just decided, you know what? This is my home. I can do what I want to do with it. And I thought, well, if I really hate the outcome, I will just have to either live with it or I'll have to try and find another way to fix it. Another thing that I have done in my kitchen is my very unusual, but I love it, backsplash, or maybe I should say quote unquote backsplash. It's just Sharpie marker that I wrote on the back of our the wall above our countertops in our kitchen, and it kind of looks like subway tile, and it kind of doesn't, but I mean, you can't really tell unless you get right up next to it. And I love how it looks. It makes it look cute in there, and I didn't have to spend a ton of money to do it, but I made it my own. I didn't wait for the money to do a subway tile or anything like that. So make your home your own. And when you start putting your personal touches into your home, you're going to find that you feel more content in that space. You're going to sit back after a long day and you're going to look around at your home and you're going to be like, yeah, this home looks like me. This home reflects my family and our priorities and our style and just our life. And so, again, if you are just replicating something that you see online or an influencer's home, it's not going to look like you, and you're not going to feel content. You're going to always be wanting, what is the next trend? What is the next, whatever style that's popular at the moment. And you're not going to be content because you're always looking for the next best thing. So instead, make it your own and make your home reflect who you are. Okay, so my last tip that has helped me be content in whatever home that I am in is to stop comparing. And so I literally got rid of the Instagram app. number one, the main reason was because I was comparing myself to other people. And I would look at other homes and I would think, man, I need to go buy this in order for my kitchen to look good, or I need to decorate in this style in order for it to look good. And I was constantly comparing my home and my life to other people, and I had to stop doing that. And so that's one of the reasons why I deleted Instagram. Another reason was it just wasted a bunch of my time and it wasn't profitable for me. And so I just got rid of Instagram altogether. I still have Facebook, but I'm not as inclined to check on Facebook like I was Instagram. For some reason, Instagram was the one that was constantly like pulling for my attention. Pinterest, I mean, you still have those picture perfect homes on Pinterest. And so I do have to be careful there too, that I'm not comparing myself to those pictures, but instead I'm just drawing inspiration from them rather than comparing. So, I would just encourage you, whenever you get on any sort of an app and you're looking for ideas or looking for inspiration, before you get on, check yourself and just remind yourself that I'm looking for inspiration. I'm not looking to compare myself or my home to anyone else's. And that will help you. Just when you're in that sort of a mindset. And then in real life even, I think it's really easy for us to compare our homes to our friend's home or to another family member's home, and to think that we're not good enough or our home is not good enough, and then that breeds the discontentment. And so just when you have those thoughts, like just noticing that you're having those thoughts and stopping them is going to help you be more intentional with making sure that you are having content thoughts about your home. So in conclusion, let's just review really quickly how to be content in your home. So number one, remember that no house is perfect. Number two, focus on all the good things in your home, the things that you love about your home. Number three, make your home yours. Put your stamp of style and your touch on your home. And number four, stop comparing your home to other people's. Okay, so that's going to do it for today's episode. If you have other ideas that you would like for me to talk about on a podcast episode, leave them below. I would love to hear what you would like for me to talk about. And I always love hearing your feedback on my videos and what I am sharing, because this is just my opinion. You may have a different opinion that you want to share as well. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.